Hello, buddy. This is Purge, and I'm bringing you a Dawnbreaker replay commentary. This is a hero that I do not play very often at all, and I think I should. This is the first time I probably played it in at least 6 months or something like that. For whatever reason, I just didn't really go for it. But the hero has a very interesting playstyle for the offlane. It is like the Spectre of the offlane in that she has a very global ultimate that allows her to play the map very differently than other heroes. And frankly, the way that she does play the map fits my playstyle really good. Because keep in mind, what I've been kind of harping on myself about the last couple days is that I spend too much time farming in places away from my team and AFK jungling in jungles to increase my farm rate. Which means that when fights do happen, I'm not necessarily there at crucial moments, and that can be to the detriment of my team. But when I have a global ulti that allows me to show up, it kind of solves those problems. So I can wait until my teammates do something, excuse me, or they get gone on, and then as a result, I can still contribute while still doing the things that I like to do. So, some things about the hero. She has 3 different facets right now. One of them, when you proc your 3rd skill, Luminosity, which is you attack 4 times, and on the 4th hit you crit and lifesteal, and the heal that you get will heal all allied heroes around you too for a portion of the attack damage dealt. So you can heal your allies pretty well with this. Creeps and neutral items provide less healing, and allies are healed for 50% of the amount that you heal. That's how it works. So one of the facets, when this procs, it'll lower the cooldown of your other abilities by 1 second, I believe, which is decent because it means you get to cast your abilities. It's like a little bit of cooldown reduction. I managed to not get that actually, but I'm gonna end up using my 2nd skill to chase here. She has bonus damage during the day, which is nice. The way her innate works right now is she gets up to 25% damage during daytime, and as the day ticks down, this number changes a little bit. So as you can see, the current damage increase is like ticking down a little bit, like every second by a small amount. So this means that the start of the laning stage is going to be a little bit better than you than the follow-up ones. Okay, and a little bit about her other 2 skills, of course, is that Celestial Hammer, you throw it, you can choose to jump to it, it'll pull you half of the way there, and the hammer will do damage when you throw it through somebody and when it pulls back through somebody. So ideally, you throw it through somebody, it comes back through them, you get double damage there, basically. And then there's a fire trail as well that will end up... the fire trail will end up dealing damage, as you can see. To my detriment in this case, it got that range creep deniable here. But it does give me a little bit of attempts to slap the Pudge, which is good. So my general plan right now is to go for Bracer and Boots, basically. Against a Pudge core, having Boots is generally pretty important, because if he does get you in a rot chase, I want to be able to escape from that. I used my spell to try to deal more damage to Pudge here, and it was okay. Like, I did alright, but taking attacks from the Shaman is not excellent either. And I ended up using Starbreaker here, which is your triple hit. It gives you bonus damage while you hit them, and when it does hit them, it stuns at the end. But I think does it slow while you're hitting? I can't remember. I don't think it does. The facet that I got, though, what it ends up doing is it ends up giving you bonus attack speed when you use your Q. This don't look good for me, of course. And I made a mistake there, giving them a creep wave advantage, and then they won on me while my mana was low. So completely my fault here. Very bad to give them a double kill, because that's going to make their laning stage look a lot better. If we take a look at their net worth now, they're sitting here and here, and we're here and here. So we're a little behind by like 300 gold or something. I decided to finish a Bracer, and I picked up a Magic Stick, and I ate this Tango because it was about to run out anyways. So I might as well eat it. And then any last hits that I can get is wonderful at this point. I'm going to try to keep the creep wave outside of the tower range, because I don't want the tower to attack these creeps. I want this whole creep wave to die here in front of my tower, because that means more time before it ends up pushing back towards us. The downside is that it's not very safe for my support to go contest the pull that should be happening right now, because he's against a Pudge, and any disable plus Pudge means that he's going to be in a 2v1 very, very easily. Unfortunately, I didn't hit the Shaman with that, but I haven't talked yet about what my Q does, but I think it's very clear you got to see what it did here. It gave me extra attack speed based on how many people I hit during my Starbreaker. And then I grabbed my passive. I actually don't know if this is the right skill build. I think pro players will typically delay Luminosity, and they just won't get it. They'll instead get more Starbreaker. But I kind of wanted the lifesteal, I guess. But it's probably not quite the right thing to get. Unfortunately, my Ogre is going to have to walk here. So this kind of puts us in a bad place. And the thingy Mobobber is already gone. So now I'm kind of in a half HP position. where I'm just going to die to these guys, basically, and there's not much I can do. I just shouldn't even try to approach, because basically what I'd have to do is not get disabled at all, and the lane is kind of hard as a result. Okay, let me finally talk about my facet. So, based on how many people I hit with my Star Breaker will give me me and my allies bonus attack speed for 4 seconds at the end of it, which is why I was attacking Pudge quite rapidly there. Alright, back in the lane. Here's my tangos and my boots that were coming on the ogre. And I just want to stabilize the lane now because we kind of fucked it up a lot with these deaths. I'm not that far behind Pudge, but we have a level disadvantage now. And because they have Disable and Rot and Hook, it's kind of a really good dual lane, I think, for their safe lane here. I'm going to pull this creep wave away from the tower for the same thing, because again, I want this whole creep wave to die here. Because if it's right under the tower, it's unlikely that Pudge is going to feel comfortable coming up for it. And at this point, I'm pretty comfortable auto-attacking a little bit because we still have so many creeps here. So if I just get all of these, and Pudge gets none of these last hits, this is good for me. I need to A-click better so that these range creeps attack this guy in the back, but I'm standing too close is the problem. So that's 4 creeps here that Pudge just didn't get at all, which is really good. I could have maybe just not killed that one and instead sat, but I kind of felt the need to maybe go contest a pull that is very likely happening. And here they denied 2 creeps while pulling, but I think that's okay because I denied a whole creep wave for last hits for them. So if you look at our net worths, they're actually kind of comparable. This was an okay time for me to come up for the last hit, but they probably could have gone on me if they wanted to, but at least Pudge would have been hit by creeps the whole time, which is kind of good. This is good. We got an ignite on 2. And now we can chase here. To wait about the Hex. It does slow a little bit, and this should give me more attack speed afterwards. This guy is so fast, and I'm being rot chased is the problem. I managed to get my magic stick off. They're just so fast. I knew this was going to happen. As soon as he walked forward, I was like, he's going to have that Nether Shock. And then we get this, ended up dying again. Unfortunately. Really bad. Gave them a big gold advantage from this. They did a nice job. If I had phase boots or something, I just get a double kill there, I feel like, is what happens. But I was just a little bit too slow against this Pudge for some reason. It's probably because I was being rot slowed while chasing the Shadow Shaman. And then when I'm chasing the Pudge, it was kind of the same thing. I just was not fast enough. So that hurt a lot. Coming back to the wave, they're all pretty low, so there is potential to get a kill here. But I also have to be careful. And when Pudge gets a little bit more healed, it's not going to be easy. My damage right now is pretty bad at night, so I have to be a little careful. And I have to, I can't necessarily stand next to the creep wave because it's very easy for them to kind of approach here. Chachi went for the Wisdom Rune, and I think this is a bad mistake because this is such a scary duel lane and we're losing it. So him waiting like 30 seconds ahead of time for the Wisdom Rune basically means I just don't get to do anything for like 45 seconds and further compounds the advantage that they already have, which worries me a lot. Like, Pudge was kind of low. Like, hypothetically, if we all ran in there, we maybe could have gotten a kill. I'm trying to maybe dodge a hook here, but of course he just goes for the shackle. And maybe I could get away if I Starbreakered. I was pretty annoyed, to be honest, because he just waited 30 seconds. He walked all the way there. That was basically a minute of a 1v2 in a disadvantageous lane. So I was having a bad time at this point. We were close to being able to win this lane, I think, but we just lost our skirmishes by a little bit, and the game just kind of got out of control, unfortunately. I think part of the problem was that we were fighting, I think, before Ogre hit level 2, and he was playing Learning Curve, of course, so it kind of hurt our golden experience in a big way. Because then we lost fights before we hit 2, we didn't get kill advantages. Luckily, the Pudge managed to die somewhere on the map, which is really good. They took a really good fight on the opposite side of the map, so that's going to help compensate for my poor laning performance. But it shouldn't be this bad. We should have been able to do fine in this lane, in my opinion. Them having a lot of disable is hard because then I can't use Starbreaker as successfully, but you know, it'll all work out. And it's pretty normal to max out Celestial Hammer because it gives you the best AoE and it increases the cast range. And the more cast range you have on this, the easier it is for you to actually throw in front of somebody and to get like a burning trail that ends up slowing them down for a significant amount of time. That ends up being a little bit better too. Even like the second skill point is going to increase the damage by 60 plus 10 burn per second. And the cast range goes from 700 to 900. So the second point of Celestial Hammer is probably better for me to get than Luminosity, honestly. But at this point, I basically just need to get my level 6 so that I can participate in the game. And I need to keep getting gold so that I can get a couple items that'll make me more viable. And Phase Boots is one of the best items on Dawn, just because she does a lot of right-click mechanically through Starbreaker. It doesn't really matter how much attack speed you have. Starbreaker is going to attack the same speed. So getting items that increase your raw damage end up being really effective on her because they're going to increase your Starbreaker damage. And because you have a crit that just goes off, you don't really need attack speed that bad on this character for her to be really effective. So Phase Boots works out really good. It helps you chase, it helps you escape, and it helps you land your Starbreakers in the place that you want to land them. We are against a Tinker this game, though, which is scary. Tinker is potentially a really strong hero, and making sure that we can disable him is kind of important. And it also means that I have to worry about getting blinded, which means I'm going to have some mischance. Here's my level 6 that I picked up. So finally I have 6 here. I've got 700 gold past my Phase Boots. I decided to ulti this, help keep him alive. I threw my hammer really bad there. That could have been ahead of him, but it wasn't. Take that kill. But yeah, the hammer should have been past him. Look at the cast range. I threw it on top of him. It should have been past, right? Because I could have gone past him and been attacking him from behind. So magic wand. I want a clarity potion because my mana's kind of low because I don't have a mana regen source right now. I'm not sure what the exact builds are on Dawnbreaker typically, but I wanted to go for an Echo Saber build. I think Blade Mail is really common too, Phase Blade Mail, because then when you ulti into a fight, you've got a decent amount of HP. I mean, I've got 1200, and with Blade Mail, you can basically trade your life for them trying to cast spells on you to defend themselves. So Blade Mail is really common too. I wouldn't say Blade Mail is really that good here, though. This was feeling a little bit spooky to me. I could have turned probably and tried Celestial Hammering, but I got a little unsure. So really clutch silence there. But I was glad that there was some punish at least, because I was having kind of a bad time down there. But my ulti's on cooldown anyway, so it's not the end of the world. And here's my Echo Saber Y. So I don't really think that Blade Mail's that good this game, basically. It's not very good against Pango. Pango is kind of like, is spell immune half the time, and it's kind of hard to predict when he's going to use his abilities at times. So that can be a little hard. I decided to TP because I was worried about him dying here. So I teleport in here, and I'm going to try to hold this safe lane now, because I am a little tanky. So Pango Blade Mail not very good. Against Shadow Shaman it's not very good because of Serpent Wards. Against Bounty Hunter it's okay, but it's not like the most thing. And then against Pudge, I mean, it's alright, but he's going to have Flesh Heap as well. I don't know if Flesh Heap dodges rot damage or not, but I've got my ulti here in 1 second, so I'm just waiting for a good moment to go in. Now we need to run for our lives. Oh my god, the slows. Eat a tango while we go. And then you go to the low ground, and now they have to run a really far way to get to you. That felt pretty good. Ended up saving Death Prophet's life. We ended up killing Pudge, which is good. I probably could use my Q a little faster, but it's okay. Little stack here. And the Void Stone is giving me some nice mana regen. If you don't pull the hammer, it will come eventually, and then you can make a really big AoE like this. This burns for 4 seconds, so that's a 200 damage nuke and a 140 times 2 nuke. So that's 280 plus 200. So very good ability for farming. If you cast it just a couple times, you can clear large stacks like this. I could maybe do it against Ancients as well, but it's a little bit scarier. And my mana's not quite that high. It's kind of wild that was like my first neutral item hit. In fact, none of us on the Dire team actually have neutral items, which is kind of wild. I'm surprised Lifesteal wasn't hitting them more, to be honest, but guess he's got other stuff to do. I don't know. But those resources are definitely really important. It's not bad for your team at all to get some early neutral items, because we're talking about 1 mana per second. You know, you guys would pay at least 200 gold for that. So it can be a big pickup. My ulti's in 27 seconds. I could TP, but it's just way better for me to keep farming, in my opinion, at this point. So I'm just going to hit creeps. Lost that one to look, unfortunately. Time is at 1:57. I have a phone call in 30 minutes, so I'm going to speed up a little bit. It's for my house repair. All right, I've got my ulti in 1 here, so I'm looking for somebody that I can potentially save. I think Ogre is dead. I would rather use this on Death Prophet when it looks like she's going to be the one that dies. Or I could do it like this. And now I'm taking a lot of damage, and I need to walk away. That's fine, though. I certainly did damage. Maybe I need to start doing Starbreakers after I jump. I think that's probably better, because trying to do this like Celestial Hammer on 2 guys thing, it's like I'm maximizing the damage I'm doing, but then after I use Starbreaker, I don't have Chase. If I land and Starbreaker instead, I'm getting better Disable after Disable follow-up, and then I can use Celestial Hammer to chase where I need to go. So I think I did this combo almost exclusively wrong the entire game, unfortunately. But I think it's okay. My Echo Saber will be here soon. For neutral items, Spark or Courage is good. 10 bonus damage when I'm above 50. Extra armor when I'm low. I could get Polywog Charm for regen because my only way to heal right now is Luminosity and base regen, which my base regen is quite high. Cobalt Cup for movement speed is fine. Sister Shroud is fine. But they don't really have the most crazy right clickers, so I think the evasion is a little bit irrelevant. I'd rather get damage. And then I can get attack speed. I could get damage. I could get health. All of these are pretty solid depending on what I want. If I had Blade Mail, I'd probably think about health. But because I'm kind of a right clicker, I'd rather get attack speed here, because this should help me with my attack speed anyways. Hammer to farm is probably really safe, but the downside is that if they do come and gank me at the same moment, I'm lower chance of being able to escape. And we finally got all of our neutral items here right at the 15-minute mark, which is pretty funny. But Echo is a pretty solid item on this hero. I mean, it gives me 20 damage and 15 strength. That's 35 extra damage, which can be increased by the crit. And it gives me a double hit, which helps compensate for my lower attack speed. That, again, doesn't really matter that much. But if you get this double hit every 5 seconds, it pays off the most for heroes that have low attack speed, basically. So it is a good item in this circumstance. But I'm going to continue playing slightly dangerous parts of the map. And then I'm going to use that to transition into possible ultis on the map. If you guys don't know how the ulti works, if you're a little unfamiliar, it basically heals for pulses, and it does damage as well for pulses against your opponents. So it does a couple pulses. I don't know how many exactly, but this Pudge just kind of got unlucky in that we all just happened to be here, but we decided to run over here towards this guy and collapse on him. Unfortunate. He got out just in time. Back to the jungle. One thing about Starbreaker, though, is that when you are jungling with it, make sure that you attack once with Luminosity before you use it, because the third hit does the most damage, typically. I guess that's not the case anymore. It just gives you bonus damage on all hits. But it's still good for you to crit on one of them, so you need to make sure your Luminosity isn't at 0 like it is for me right now. Over here trying to like steal these last hits. And I ended up messing it up. I only got like one of them, and I took a bunch of damage, so... I did get these stones, though, and it only cost me 600 health. So right now I could use the Q if I wanted to. I don't necessarily want to use both abilities, though. I should really be looking at my team here. Okay, it looks like it was just them dying for nothing. No loss. All right, next item. I'm thinking about getting a Deso. Deso is a very classic item on this hero. It's a little bit more of a pub item. It's not necessarily as common in pro games, because there's generally less things to... There's like, what's the way to say it? Generally, there's more important things you have to buy, like a BKB sometimes. But if you can get away with this, it's really powerful, because what it does is it increases your damage by like an insane amount. Again, I mentioned that you don't really care that much about attack speed on this hero because you're getting it from Starbreaker. And you've got all this bonus damage here already from Starbreaker. You've got this crit that increases your physical damage. If you pair that with an item like Desolator, you're just increasing the physical damage that you do, which is only going to be a good thing, and kind of jumps your damage up into the stratosphere. Because I got tracked, I'm slightly worried about getting ganked, so I'm going to retreat from this area and go back here to farm for a little bit, because I really don't want to die. It's very common for players to group their heroes and go gank a Dawnbreaker, because they know that the Dawnbreaker is probably not standing near their teammates. So I decided to back up and farm this, and the fact that Pudge was here kind of reflects that. If I stayed in these areas, Pudge is going to run at me, and he's very likely going to kill me. See, look at this. They're like actually looking for me right now, or some hero. And I just ran backwards because I'm like, I'm not going to fuck around over here. So I'm going to go heal. They didn't end up contesting my teammates at Roshan, which is good. I'm still queuing up my items. I picked Mithril Hammer first because that raw damage increase was going to be nice. And because I could buy it now, I'm just going to buy the Blightstone, the Orb of Blight. It's not bad to get Orb of Blight earlier, like as soon as you get 300 gold. But by the time I decided to buy Deso, I just thought Mithril Hammer would pay off more than -3 armor. But honestly, it might be kind of close because -3 armor is somewhere around like an 18% physical damage increase. So if we do the math, it's probably not that far off, to be honest. Just trying to get some of these last hits because I really wanted to finish my Deso because it really changes your damage by a lot. And the 10 talent, I could get Celestial Hammer slow. That's how much the hammer will slow you when you're in the fire trail. 15% is kind of a lot, but 12 damage when you're playing core just makes a lot of sense because this is just one of those heroes where like physical damage just combos so well in you that any extra damage you get kind of changes your hero in a big way. Frankly, even fighting during daytime would be a really big difference during this hero because I'm getting a 25% damage increase, which should be based off of your base damage, by the way, so that would be like strength items that you're picking up. We managed to spot this little bounty hunter here. Fortunately, I got hexed here. That interrupts my Q. I was hoping maybe to channel my ulti here, but they hit me with Disable, which is not surprising. And now the fight is super lost. That's a nice stroke. One thing I could have potentially done that might have been safe was as soon as we disabled Pudge, I could have maybe ultied him. But I didn't really know if their whole team was there, so I don't think I would have. Like in hindsight, knowing where they are, it would have been kind of cool because I could have like made it harder for them to fight, and I would have layered another stun on Pudge for 1.6 seconds or 1.4 seconds or something. But probably not the move to do. It's more of a counterplay, and the only reason I did it was because I was kind of in trouble. So I realized at this fight, I was like, I need magic immunity. I can't play this game completely without it because I'm just going to simply get killed. They're going to chain disable me. I'm not going to get to cast my spells. Like, it's okay in most cases. If I can Solar Guardian into the fight when somebody else gets gone on, then it's not a big deal. But there's still going to be cases where I get hit by, like, any of this guy's disables, or by Pudge ult, or by track, like, or Bounty Invis hitting me, that kind of a thing. Alright, let's take a look at my damage now. Now you'll see that I'm basically one-shotting creeps, and that's because this gives me 55 damage. It's lowering the armor of enemies that I'm hitting by 6, which is effectively somewhere around like a 30% damage increase. And again, I'm critting on that for 25 up to 200%. I can almost clear Ancients, basically, with a Q. Managed to get the Tormentor, which is nice. Good for Lyrical. He can use it to dispel people with Inkswell. Dispels an ally, and they heal for the damage dealt. And what am I doing? I'm continuing to hit creeps away from my team. Technically, I don't think the Ogre should be here, but this is okay. Bloodlust is really nice on me, by the way. Even though I can play without attack speed, it doesn't mean it's bad. Look at that beautiful damage. I just walk up, I hit a creep wave, and then I ditch. I don't think I meant to clap here. I purchased my Shard next because it's a really cheap way, basically, to give me magic immunity. You could make an argument that I should have gone for a BKB instead, because BKB is 10 seconds, and Shard is only for the duration of my Q. It does give you free movement, so you can, like, kind of cast it and run different directions instead of being stuck in the direction you're going. But, the magic immunity is still pretty nice. I think in hindsight, I kind of regretted buying Shard when I did, because in some ways, I could have just saved and gotten BKB. BKB is about 4,000 gold. Shard is 1,400. And right now, the Shard is better. But in 3,000 gold, BKB is definitely better. Like, way better. So it's kind of a bit of a trade-off, pretty much. But if I can land a Solar Guardian and turn that into a Starbreaker when their stun is running out, I think that would be a good option here. I could have used it right here as soon as I saw the Shadow Shaman. I was going to die no matter what, though, because this is all of their heroes. And I'm going to be chain disabled. So this was like one of those moments where I'm like, if I just had BKB, I actually just live here. I don't know if they were smoked that whole time or not, but I queued up BKB because I'm like, okay, there's clearly an issue here. Blink is pretty good with Shard, though, because it allows you to initiate a fight outside of using Solar Guardian. I could do, like, Blink with Shard to jump on Tinker, because Tinker was starting to become a little scary here. His net worth is very, very high, and he has a Dagon, he has an Ags, he has a Kaya, so his nuke damage is really, really high right now. So that's one of the things we have to be kind of worried about, is getting bursted by this guy, or being able to get on top of him and maybe get a kill. Nice latch. It's all good. We lost Lyrical to the tower, unfortunately. It was a nice glyph, but this is kind of spooky, I gotta say. Got 2 Deso charges, which is fine. And between my Deso and his Axe, we do a lot of damage. You paid for that one, huh? We can push a little bit more here if we want. Because they have a lot of dead heroes. Having Bounty be dead makes it look a little bit more appealing. And we just might as well slap it a little bit. I'm really not that worried. I don't necessarily want to dive on this guy, but if I can damage him a little bit. As soon as Pudge is alive, let's just back. I think that's completely fine to do. 60% of tower damage like that is just really advantageous to start you off later on a good push to just save a lot of time. Attack once, then use Q. Use my abilities to increase my farm speed here. Lovely, lovely. Up to 6 Deso charges, which is great. My Luminosity is now at level 3. This ability doesn't... It actually scales okay. It looks kind of bad at first because the healing from heroes doesn't scale good. But the critical strike still does go up. It's still a 25% chance to crit, basically, is how you should look at it. So it's like a 25% damage increase. Which is, it's not bad. It's not very out of line of other crits. And the fact that it also heals on top of that, it's a 50% heal, makes it actually a pretty good ability. It's not like an insane crit, but it's pretty good. Especially the -1 attacks required. It basically turns it from a 25% chance to crit to a 33% chance to crit, is how you could look at it. So it can end up being pretty solid. Solar Guardian radius is quite good too. There's a lot of times in this game where I was a little disappointed that it was hard to land the Solar Guardian in time. Like I struggled a little bit to land the stun duration. A lot of the times the enemies kind of just ran away from the problems. So that was a little bit harder, I think. So maybe if I think about Luminosity in that way, that it's every 4 attacks, or 3 attacks instead of 4, and then it's only a 25%. It's a 33% chance to crit instead of 25. That's actually not that marginally better. It only makes your ability, what, like 30% better or something like that. It sounds like a lot. You're like, -1 attacks, 3 instead of 4. That's huge, but it's not that crazy. Maybe I'm doing the math wrong, but yeah, you'll probably see it a little bit as the game continues. The radius here that I was looking for. Just waiting to see if it's a good time to go in. Oop, new neutral item. So this one's a little bit hard, unfortunately. JD Pollen Bag isn't bad against the Pudge and maybe the Tinker Bounty. Like, reduce. I don't think I've actually gotten this neutral item yet, to be honest. But against some heroes, it's really solid. Whisper of the Dread is not needed. I don't do any good spell damage. Gale Guard is not... It's okay. I could get Gale Guard. It would give me some HP. But I think I keep Brigand's Blade, if I'm not mistaken. And it said most players grab Tough. And that does make a lot of sense on this hero. Again, I'm a strength hero, so I have lots of raw HP. Normally Tough, the damage that you get from it is really like meh. But Dawnbreaker is literally the perfect hero for it. I would say another good example would be like PA maybe. Except it's not as good on PA. PA doesn't have... PA isn't like a strength hero that does a lot of damage. Maybe like, what's a good example? Like Huskar. Tough is really good on Huskar. Huskar is a strength hero. He wants a lot of HP, and damage is really good because he actually does utilize his attacks a lot. There aren't that many strength heroes that fit that archetype. Maybe like Lifestealer is another good example. Strength heroes that are right clickers. So Tough is just great. Lots of HP to utilize the armor, and the damage goes a long ways due to your items and your abilities. Waiting to ulti until it looks like a better opportunity. I'll do it here from the open wounds. I did do my Q first there, which is good. Just gonna throw that back so that it will slow things down, and I just got exploded by magic damage. It's actually working with Halberd. Oh, he's got a Halberd, that's cool. This doesn't look good. That was so funny. Just put him in the danger zone. So we ended up losing that fight, actually. unfortunately. They are getting track gold and stuff like that, so 2,300 gold for bounty in there. Holy crap, dude. That is wild. That is the power of the hero. His items look pretty normal. Spirit Vessel against us. I don't think my jump was terrible, but it was a little bit deep. And it kind of put Lifestealer in a bit of a spookier place. Maybe it was just a bad go by Lifestealer, and I only followed up on it because it was like heroes linked together, but it looked kind of good. I've almost got BKB though, which is solid. Ooh, I could have... No, I don't think I could have stacked it actually. That's fine. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to push the creep wave out. With a single Q. Isn't it beautiful? Alright, and that's my BKB. So now, after I go in, I can just BKB and run away, which is good. Almost level 3 ulti as well. Some more heal per pulse. Cooldown goes down to 90 seconds, which is really good. Been tracked again. The Signet is a little annoying. Once again, I'm going to play a little bit safe when I get tracked here. I probably could have done the large camp because I just showed up bottom, but it's just a little safer. I'm going to miss this stack, unfortunately.
Dire's top tower is under
I was waiting for it to get like bad for him before I go in. I didn't need to BKB when I did. I could have done after my spin. I thought maybe I could kill the Pudge here, but I should have been maybe a little bit less scared. I did get a lot of stuff done, but I got him with my last hit, which is good. I'm thinking about going on this Tinker, but I'm kind of low. It's kind of spooky, so. Luckily that hook didn't hit me. It's so close. I did not deserve to win that fight. I did not deserve to win that fight. I did a lot of damage though in that fight. I did like 7,000. I got a good ulti to start things off. Lifestealer did end up dying unfortunately, but it started us off on a good engagement. Again, I popped my BKB before I used Starbreaker, which is bad, so that wasted like 1.1 seconds of magic immunity. And then afterwards, the fight looked kind of okay. I didn't really get any like monster star surges off to get a bunch of attack speed, but I think my damage or my target acquisition was okay. And maybe I should have gone in with the Inkswell, but at that point there was a lot of full HP heroes, and I was at like 40% HP and my BKB was running out, so I felt really scared to commit there. But maybe I should have gone after all, because with the Grimstroke hitting both of his spells on a target, I probably would have been okay. Is what I'm thinking. Here's my -1 attacks that I picked up. There's still Solar Guardian Radius that I could have taken. I think the Radius one is better if you buy an Ags, and I was thinking about getting Ags this game because they had a bunch of non-standard heroes. The way Ags works right now, the way it used to work is that you would basically channel for longer, and the AoE would basically follow. You can move it. So it's kind of like you could put it on a guy and like give them evasion and a lot of healing. Now it lingers, but it's like you still land at the same time. So it doesn't make your ulti like hard to combo and land like a stun after another stun, but it does allow you to like heal more afterwards. So it could be good. I could jump in and like pump a bunch of heals out while dealing damage with a bigger radius, which would be good if I got the radius talent. But with all these right-click items, well, there's no doubt that -1 attacks required is just better. I maybe could ulti Chachi here. I wasn't sure if it would be a good plan. Probably dangerous, honestly. And I was thinking about buying this Blink Dagger. That way I could kind of get in and out and jump the right targets. But instead I decided to go for an AC instead. Because AC is just going to up my damage and my team's damage by a lot. We have a lot of physical damage this game. I've got a Lifestealer. Radiance is very common on Lifestealers, but he's still slapping, of course. I've got a Deso already. So more minus armor is really good. And then a Death Prophet does a lot of physical damage. She does a lot of magic too, with Spirit Siphon and Cryptstorm and Shiva's. But her ulti and her Aghanim Scepter do physical damage. So an AC is only going to increase the spirit damage by a little bit more, which is good. So I just felt like AC is a nice way to transition on this hero to make you like a true right clicker. Plus the armor is fantastic too if you're taking physical damage. Pudge Carry is dealing... Oh yeah, he went Mask of Madness this game. That didn't scare me at all. He went the Facet that gives you more damage as you rot, which can be okay. But I think Mask of Madness is in no way like the right item build to get. You're better off getting like an AC. I think the Harpoon is good, but Mask of Madness is not the item. When I saw that after his good early game, I was not nearly as worried about him because he had the potential to like blow this game up, but that build is just not good. I'm pretty sure. I just have no belief in it. I've been tracked in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of weird. I ping saying, hey, there's a bounty over here. And again, I'm going to leave where I am, and I'm going to go hit creeps somewhere else instead. That guy TP'd, so I'm feeling a little bit more confident to go play in a dangerous area. But one thing that I can definitely do is sell my items and go get a plate mail and a... Oh no, I remember this moment. That stun really fucked me up. I should have TP'd right away as soon as I BKB'd, and I didn't. I decided to run left because Lifesteal said to run left. I should have just BKB TP'd. That was a really bad play by me. I'm sad. Terrible play. Huge gold. They gave him, we gave him track gold too. What a, like a crazy moment. Like they just got a 6k gold swing by everything. They just killed us on 2 different places on the map. Fucking crazy, dude. Terrible. His stuns were really powerful, though. He basically stunned me at the worst possible time, right before Tinker went in for another combo. So I couldn't BKB reduce it. So I just took a ton of damage. I also bought out a little bit before I died, but it wasn't necessarily the right items. And I don't know why I didn't walk to the side shop anyways. But that was obviously almost all magic damage, so that was really spooky. I can only protect that with BKB. And it's not really worth it for me to buy a pipe, most likely. Like, pipe is, on paper, good on a lot of offlane heroes, but on a Dawnbreaker, it doesn't feel very good because... I'm talking about, like a BKB at least gives me 34 damage, which is really good on a hero like Dawn. And magic community is important. It's important for me not to be disabled. It's not as much like I can just be like a centaur that's tanky and kind of like stays alive, kind of a thing. I am really close to getting my AC finished though. Nice force staff for them. Sending my courier over there to start buying some of my items, but I'm still not quite at the plate mill. I should have sold these two. I bet I could have had it. Again, I'm just waiting to press my ulti. I wasn't sure if I could go on that guy or not. Looks like he made somebody go invisible here.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Looking at that top wave. I am not afraid to go kill that, I gotta say. But it probably shouldn't. Yeah, looks like Grim is going. Then I had a creep wave come, somebody will clear that. Now they're ganking top. They're doing a really nice job. Unfortunately, I didn't put my items on the courier before I sent it out because I'm stupid. I hate when this happens. So now I have to wait to get my items. It was 4 heroes. How many get hit? 0. But then I got on this Tinker with my AC. Wasn't that sick? Got all that bonus attack speed from Starbreaker. I decided to chase this guy. He died. This is a nice little fight. Unfortunately, we don't have a creep wave bottom. But we do have a creep wave mid, so I'm going to get my banner ready that I've been saving all game. And the crazy thing was, I put the banner down. I should have waited to see if they glyphed. Because if they glyphed, then it would have been worth using. But because they didn't glyph, it was like I just wasted the banner. That was embarrassing too. But we did smash that fight, which is good. I did 4,200 damage, which is pretty good. I solo killed the Tinker, basically, right? It's not a hero, easy hero to kill. Not quite worth chasing with a buyback. A little AC aura to protect my team is kind of nice too. I decided to leave him, but maybe I should have stayed within aura range. I should have. He's actually alive, surprisingly. That was fun. Just did like 6,000 damage there. With the 3-man hammer into the Starbreaker. And sometimes, this is like one of those cases where like they just shouldn't have fought. If they just didn't fight there, the game goes on, you know? But instead it just ends. Because they made like, they took like a 3v5 trying to kill the Ogre Magi. And they went a little too hard, but he's got a pipe and a Lotus. His items are actually great for a support. I really like these. Basically just stuff to keep him and his team alive. I really like the Heaven's Halberd. Even though there's not that many right clickers, it's pretty easy to pick it up. So that's Dawnbreaker. Being effective on the map with your ulti. Landing your combos against their squishy heroes. Buying Deso so you can just explode heroes. It all kind of adds up and makes the hero pretty strong. So she's decent. Some people pick her in the meta. I don't think she's played right now, if I'm not mistaken. But there's probably some like fundamental issue with her, like her laning is a bit weak, or she doesn't bring enough disable or gank. She is a counter initiator offlane hero. She is not an initiator offlane hero, so that kind of changes things a lot. She does work really good with a hero like Death Prophet. Death Prophet is a perfect frontline mid hero, so I can absolutely combo with her, let the Death Prophet do aggressive stuff and shine, and I can back her up when things get bad. And having Lifestealer as my carry, or even like carries that are a little bit squishy, that you just need a little bit of oomph to keep them alive if they get initiated on, it's great. So Dawnbreaker, very good against jump enemy lineups, and in this game, it was kind of ideal in a lot of ways with the cores that I had, so that was pretty fun. My damage dealt overall was not that high. I just discovered this graph thing recently. Somebody told me about it. But here at the, like, right before the game ended, I was sitting about the same as Pangolier. I wasn't really close to the top. But after those last, like, 2 fights, pretty much, I had, like, 2 fights where I did a lot of damage, and I ended up being the 4th highest damage dealer, being kind of comparable to the Death Prophet. But it was basically just, like, 2 monster fights at the end where I got big Starbreakers on multiple heroes when they grouped up a little bit. And I actually kept the Brigand's Blade the entire game, which is unfortunate, but just how it goes sometimes. Could have been a serrated Shiv, you know? Serrated Shiv would have been good. But this is good too. If they're low, they take bonus magic damage. Why not? Okay, that is Dawnbreaker. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.